Hey guys, I'm Imperious, a Frost Death Knight on the Coriel Strat server. Today, I'm going to be showing you a general guide on how to DPS as Frost in patch 3.3.5. Let's start out with how to spec and glyph your character accordingly. I use a 05318 build shown here on your screen. I use glyphs of Obliterate, Frost Strike, and Disease for my current build, and those are the glyphs that you should use for any build that you use. There's a bunch of variations to the Frost build, but I'm not going to list them out here. I'll post a link in the description on where to find the other builds for the Frost DPS spec. Next up, I'm going to be talking about how to gem, enchant, and itemize your character correctly. Here is a flowchart on the correct stats you should be looking for in gear and other items you may pick up along the way. Hit first, of course, because you need that stat so you aren't missing. The hit cap is 8% currently. Expertise until capped, because you don't want your swings being dodged or parried. The cap for that is currently, I believe it's 26. Strength, because that's giving you attack power, which is your main source of a damage boost. Crit, because you want your physical strikes to be critting. Armor penetration. This stat is very helpful because what it does is it makes your strikes do more damage because it's negating more armor, so that it's hitting harder. Haste, because your weapon swings are going to be faster since your white melee swings are your main source of damage. Alright, next we're going to talk about how to gem and enchant your character properly. Now, I'm assuming that you guys know the standard enchants, so I'm not going to be going over that for sake of time. But for gemming, I gem complete strength in every single slot except for my cloak, and I put a nightmare tier in my cloak to get the requirements for my meta gem, which is the Relentless Earth Siege Diamond. Now, people may argue the 21 crit is better, but I find that the 21 agility does provide less crit, but what it does is instead of having to waste 10 strength on having a blue gem, basically you're just sacrificing like 20 attack power for 0.25 extra crit. So I find the 20 attack power more valuable than the extra crit. Now that we have gone over the gemming and itemizing and all that stuff, we're going to start with the rotation. Now, the general rotation for Frost is pretty simple. I recommend that you download this add-on. It's called needtoknow. I will put it in the description. As you see right here, it shows my current diseases and killing machine and freezing frog procs. So it's a helpful add-on to have when you watch your procs, like the Frostback does. Now, Frost starts out as any other rotation. What you're going to do is you're going to put up your diseases, Plague Strike, Icy Touch, and then you're going to Obliterate, Blood Strike, and Pestilence so that you get that extra Obliterate at the end. Frost Strike when your runes are down. You're going to Obliterate 3 times. Freezing Frog, use Howling Blast when you do that. Obliterate, Obliterate, and then Pestilence to refresh your diseases again. Now this is a tight rotation, so you need to be very careful, and you need to watch your timers. Now for the second rotation, you're going to Obliterate, 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 Obliterate twice, and then Pestilence. Now basically what you do from here is you Obliterate when you have the runes. Freezing Frog, you do Howling Blast when you get that proc, and when you get Killing Machine, you do Frost Strike. And basically it's not so much of a rotation, it's more of a prioritizing thing. When your Obliterate's up, you Obliterate, but you have to be careful of your diseases so they don't fall off. And if they do fall off, that sucks. Alright, so much for that. Now we're gonna move on to how to start the fight and how I start, a fight like Sarfang. What I do is, at the beginning, I pop Army of the Dead, my Raise Dead spell, my Unbreakable Armor, and then use Empower Rune Weapon, and then I just start my rotation. Basically, that's giving me a big boost in DPS right off the start, and it's gonna make my basically my overall DPS better by using this. Now you see I have Freezing Frog and Killing Machine procs. This is a great time to use Freezing Frog, because without Killing Machine, it only hits for like 4k. It's just like a filler spell. It's not really worth using. But when you get both, it hits for like 9k, so it's pretty good. I'd use that whenever they're both up. Try to avoid using it without Killing Machine, because it's kind of a wasted spell. That's pretty much it for the rotation part of the guide. Let's see, what else can I talk about? Unbreakable Armor. The macro, well, since Unbreakable Armor only has a 1-minute cooldown, it's basically used throughout the fight. But since it consumes a frost rune, if you use it just by itself, you're going to be losing a rune. So what I like to do is I use this macro shown here. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but I will post it in the description as well. And what it does is it casts Blood Tap on the first. It casts Blood Tap and Unbreakable Armor on the first time you hit it, and then you hit it again, and it cancels the Blood Tap buff. So watch my buffs right here. Hit the first time, a Blood Tap and Unbreakable Armor. Hit it again, takes off Blood Tap. What that does is, instead of having to waste and obliterate, it consumes a blood rune, and that way you basically all you're losing is, if you cast Unbreakable Armor, you're losing a blood strike, which isn't really a big DPS thing anyways. So that's how you do that.
Studio keep bloody